Hello friends, welcome back. So in our last video we have created an application with the help of React 19 and Next.js, and we understood with that application what is server component and what are client components. Okay, so with the same application employee management, we are going to understand a very important features of React 19, which are actions. Okay, and with the part of same video we will cover even all these three because all are interrelated. So with the working example with the same application, we'll try to integrate here all of them. Okay, so what are actions here? So actions, if we see, just we need to understand only one line for now. Actions are the important React 19 features for handling asynchronous operations. Okay, it handles the asynchronous operation. Only remind this part for now. Then basically it helps us during the form submit and some asynchronous operations. We will use actions. So first we'll see our default how we will do the form submissions before this new features added. Okay, so if you are using React 19 or even you upgraded and your features are still like React 18, so if you observe, what we used to do is we used to have a submit button. Okay, and on click of that one, like whenever click on that one, this will on submit will trigger, and here we will do this form submission with the help of the event. First step is we used to do a event.prevent default, and then we'll create our payload, and then we will hit our API with the help of fetch. Okay, and then one more thing is we will set the loading status to show the loader and show some error message or success message. We used to have the multiple use states, right? And with the help of that one, we are showing the loader, and it is success or failure. Okay, this is our current default behavior we used to do. So I'm just running once this is normal one. So Suresh, I'm adding Suresh test.com. Okay, something I'm selecting front end. So I did add employee. Okay, it is showing me employee created successfully. Okay, and in my server logs, if you see, these are the three existing item, and this item got added. Okay, at the server. And how it got added is in this form, whenever we will click on the handle submit, we will do this fetch API. In this fetch API, we have written, right, we will get the payload, and to our existing list we are just pushing one more employee, and this is what you have seen in the log. Okay, update employee list for submit action. This item got pushed to our existing these three elements, and the one more we got added here. So this is our page.tsx where we are using this employee form, which we have seen here, which is the normal way of it. Now in React 19, we got the actions to handle the asynchronous functions. Okay, so what I did is, right, instead of creating another form, just I'm commenting this one, and I'm just reopening the only actions part. Okay, so employee form actions, this is similarly copy of this only. Okay, you can see here it is the same thing, submit button and the same form. If we will see the UI, it looks same, but I mentioned here create employee with async action. So with the new change, instead of this submit, you can directly do one thing. You can use this attributes action. Okay, and on click of this action, sorry, I opened the wrong file. We should take employee form only action. Okay, just first we will understand what is an action. So let me use here only action. Yeah, this is correct. So in this file, this is similar to our existing file. Okay, just only change what I have done is, you can see we have this on submit right here, and handle submit we will do, and we will do multiple things. Instead of that one, we can use directly action here in React 19, and with here, if you see, this is a server component. Okay, even you can do it as a client component if you are not using a Next.js, but here directly with the benefit of this one, you can directly get the payload similar to our route.ts file here, and we are pushing the data to existing list. So same thing we are doing here also in this action.ts file. We are pushing our new employee here. Okay, let's say because it is server side, if you are having APIs, you can even directly connect to your DB here itself, and you no need to put any fetch call and anything. Directly it will be connected to a DB. Okay, so main thing here is you are using the action here, and with the action you can do this asynchronous call directly. This is the feature what I mentioned here initially. Actions are used for handling the asynchronous operations. So, and we have seen our traditional form submission in React 18 and before. What we used to do, we will have handle on submit, right? And we will be initially we will do like form submit. Whenever we do it, right, it will be event on prevent default we used to do, and we will handle the states. So similar thing we can avoid now. Okay, so on submit we don't have this prevent default. If we are using a server side component, even you don't need the fetch. And coming to this loading state and error handling, right? So currently the only part I demoed you here is we are just doing the asynchronous call here, okay, with actions, create actions only. It is just a asynchronous action. So to handle our state, okay, to handle our loading state, error handling, we can come here. We can use a new hooks which are provided by React 19, which are form state and form status. So this will do this work for us. Okay, now we understand what actions is. Now let's start using these two in our application. Before going there, let's just run this as well with the async option. Okay, Suresh, new, okay, test at the rate test.com, department, let's say design UI. Okay, I'm just doing the add employee. So if you see again the server logs, this with the async one, so this got added to our list now. Okay, Suresh, which is I just added. So now we understand even how can we integrate our actions part. But now in our generally real-time projects, we use them all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do, again I'm commented out this one only action, and we will try to understand the one with the combination of hooks and action. So what happened here is, now I'm opening this new component. In this component, if you see, it looks similarly same thing, right? Just I added React 19 action with form action and use form status hook. What I have done here is, in our last example we have seen on click of action we are directly calling the async method there. So this is our only actions, right? So we are just calling this async method. But now with form actions and status, we are going to use these hooks. Okay, to use them, what we need to do is, instead of directly calling the actions how we did here, we are just calling this async action. What we will do is, now is we will use the form action. Okay, we will utilize this use action state hook, and here what we are going to do is we will pass our async method here. Okay, this is our async method. I'll explain what it is. It is similarly things. What it is going to do is, again it is pushing the employee into, this is nothing but a DB call, what we have done in other places. So one important thing to remember is, with the help of use action state, what we will do is we will call our method and we will pass our initial state. So let's say our initial state, I'm putting success as a false, okay, and some no messages initially. So this state I'm passing to this use action state, okay, and I'm calling this method. What this use form action state will provide us, it will give me the latest state. Okay, so if you see the changes side, instead of directly calling the method, what I'm doing, I'm using this action and I'm using this hook use action state, and with the help of this I'm calling a asynchronous method, which is create employee form submit method, by passing the initial state, which is I mentioned here, initial state. Okay, now going to this method. So what I'm doing in this method, we are just taking our previous state. Okay, whatever the previous state is coming, we are passing here initial state. Okay, and simply we are getting the form data. So we created again the payload. So you can do even your validation part. Let's say our employee.name is empty, right? We can add the validations here if not employed. So we can, in the same format, we can say success is a false, and we can put our validation message name is required. Okay, and similarly we will try to hit the API, or if it is a server side component, you can directly call the DB here and update. So similar things what we have done here, like we are pushing into existing list, same thing I'm doing instead in user form actions in create employee. Okay, so simply what I'm doing here is I'm just doing some validation. If it is not, we are returning the similar state, current state, and we are pushing it into our existing list. Okay, and then it will return employee created successfully. So few things here we can observe, right? So it will give us the state to us. With the help of this state, what I'm doing is we will display if the message comes, whatever the message, success or failure, whatever message is coming to us, we will have it here. Okay, as we are returning this success one based on this success, true, false, and message. Okay, so this state will give us the latest status. Okay, so that is the use of this use action state. Okay, okay, so we understood what is use action state, and another thing is use form status. Okay, so where is the use of this one is, let's say whenever we did the API, right, if API is in a pending situation, like until API is completed, we need to show our something like this button name as a add employee. Let's run it. So Suresh 1. Okay, Suresh accelerate form, selecting a department, and this time let me select UX. Okay, I'm just clicking on the add employee. So you can see here it is rendering and this button is showing, and 3-second time it took, then it given the employee created successfully. And in our server logs we can see this one, whichever I have created now, it got to start displaying. So from here what we understood is, with the help of use form status during a pending time, right, when the API is in progress, we need to disable sometimes the submit buttons, right, like this add employee. So that is what I did. By using the status, I am showing add during its in progress time, and then it show later again add employee, and we disabled it. Okay, so one more important thing here is I created this submit button separately. So initially, like in our previous examples, so I just written the button here itself, right? This is my submit button. But in the case when I do employee form actions with the help of these hooks, okay, so use form status works with the child component only. Okay, that is the reason I created it as a separate function, and then I'm using it here. Okay, it works only with the child component. If you directly write this code, piece of code there, it won't work. Okay, so that's why I created it separately, and with the help of use form status we are getting the status. So things are clear, I guess, here. So let's reiterate what we have done now so far. So for the actions we created the employee with async option. Okay, then for the help of validations and success error handling, we use this use form status. Okay, and we, for submitting the form with actions, we just added the action part. So let's reiterate its key points. So actions are an important React Native feature for handling asynchronous options. We observed it. So traditional ways we are using on submit, prevent, default, fetch methods, loading state, and all. So now these all are not needed. With the use of the action, the code is reduced, the boilerplate is reduced. Okay, you can handle the states with the help of directly we get the state with the help of use action state, and by the help of use form status we will get the current API completed or in progress. So similar things here with the help of React 19 allow us to connect asynchronous function directly to a form actions. Okay, we are doing this. What it do, it reduce the form submission boilerplate. So lot of code is which we use previously use state and loading true, loading false, error messages, we are creating state. So too much form this boilerplate code got reduced. Okay, and it works specially with useActionState, useFormStatus. So we will discuss use optimistic in next video, but we have observed how these two hooks works for us. So these are the another key points. What, just to remember, right? What actions do? It handles the asynchronous operations such as form submission and data mutations. Okay. Then what useActionState do? It manages the actions result, right? Which kind of action result, like it is a success or some validations we have observed, right? If any validations error, we can return our messages from there, or error state it will do, and it will return the data. So this is all the work of useActionState, which will return us the updated state after the for the APIs. Okay, now useFormStatus, what it did, it tracks the form current submission status. Okay, so like it is in pending, and where we use it for disabling the submit button or showing the loading text or showing the loader, for all those purposes we will use the useFormStatus. Okay, and what this form action will do, it will connect the form directly to the action function. So lastly, one more time, just clarity wise, we will just see this example. So this is basically the structure we use in React 19. We will be having the actions, and this actions directly we are not calling. We will take the help of useActionState, which will return us the updated state from here, and with the help of useFormStatus we will get the our API is completed or in pending status. Based on that one, we will disable, enable, or showing some pending text and all. Okay, that is what it is. So in next video we are going to cover the use optimistic hook from the React. Thank you for watching.